Okay, so let me just say this up front. This is definitely not the episode that we had planned to drop this week, but apparently it's the one that the universe has handed us. So I'm going to lean into it and I'm going to learn to flow with what is instead of what I thought it should be. Hey, I'm Leka, one half of Sister Signs and Red Flags. Of course, you know I'm Gemini, the big sister, a survivor, a soft light work in progress. And right now, I'm definitely in my bed under a blanket recording this voiceover with a work headset and no bra because, baby, it has been a week. Welcome to part one of the Sydney birthday trip vlog. There's TSA drama, cancel flights, jet boats, and just enough emotional whiplash to make it classic Gemini chaos. Let's get into it. Now, if you want to know the truth, like this trip, it had been in progress since December of last year. It was initially supposed to be a single solo birthday trip for me. However, after Lexi and I started getting really, really close, I was like, you know what? You should go to Australia with me. Let's go. Let's make it a Gemini sister thing trip and celebrate our birthdays in Australia. Now, mind you, I don't know anybody in Australia, never been to Australia. Only place I've been before outside of the continental US is St. Virgin Islands, and I just did that last November. Yeah, November of 2024. But I was like, good places to visit in May to go. And Sydney was listed. And I was like, you know what? I not go ahead and go to Australia and go down under, right? So, all things being said, like this was planned out from the get go. We had a whole itinerary and everything. But here comes the day to get to the airport and it's time to get to the airport. It's time to check in and get on our flight. And we're halfway through, like halfway to my son is driving. My baby is driving us to the airport. And we're halfway there. And I'm like, we gotta go back. I forgot. I forgot our sleep mask, and I forgot my throws. Our throws. We can't get on the plane without the sleep mask in our throws. Because mind you, the flight to Sydney was gonna be from LA to Sydney was gonna be like 15 hours. My baby, he looked so disappointed and tired, but he had to turn around. So he turned around, got the throws, got the eye mist. Okay, we good, we good, we going. So then next thing you know, we get to the airport, check in with Delta, everything's cool, okay. Go through like the identification process where you have to, get your passport and stuff like that, the TSA. And of course, me and Lexi, we going through the TSA pre-check line because both of us have TSA pre-check. And it was added to our Delta online profiles, right? Okay. Get there, and next thing I know, the man says, TSA agent, like, let me see your boarding pass. I'm like, okay, here you go. And he was like, "You don't have pre-check. You need to go over there." I'm like, "What you mean I don't have pre-check?" Like that's like what? Like how you gonna tell me I don't have pre-check? Like I don't have pre-check since last year, and I know I have pre-check. So how you gonna tell me? And he was like, "Well," he was like, "They didn't give you a blue card. They didn't give you this, that, and the third. You need to go over there." And I'm like, "I have pre-check. So what are you talking about?" So, and mind you, Lord, I was finna get locked up before we even got on the plane to go to Sydney, okay? But it's like, you know what? Calm down. Just go ahead and go through the pre-check line. Well, go through the other TSA general public line. But kind of find out, I forgot when you have TSA pre-check, they do print that on your boarding pass. And so kind of find out it wasn't the agent. Delta failed to put our pre-check status on our boarding passes. So we had to go through there like the lowly people. We had to go through the regular line, taking our shoes off and everything. It was, which I didn't. I didn't get locked up, but put this on the side of Delta. Y'all fucked up. Y'all messed up, and I need some retribution for this shit, right? And that was us boarding our flight. One of three from Gulfport, Mississippi to Atlanta. We made it to Atlanta. I mean, I feel like that pilot flew us to Atlanta in under 30 minutes. We got there real quick. We had a little bit of a layover. Decided to get some food from Fresh to Order. Was excellent. The service was even better because there was a young man, a gentleman. I don't know his name, but his vibes gave like weirdly enough daddy vibes. Like he reminded us so much of our dad. He was just so outgoing, so friendly, just like, y'all need a table? Let me make sure I get you a table. I'm gonna be on the lookout. Like he was gonna make sure that we was taken care of and made sure that we had everything in our bag that we needed to enjoy our meal, okay? So Atlanta went off without a hitch. We actually fucking ended up boarding the flight to LA, and that's kind of where more of our troubles began. All right, so let's talk about LAX. Okay, we got a smoothie from Jamba Juice, and let me tell you, baby, Jamba Juice, that smoothie was the best smoothie I had ever tasted in life. Okay. That was a fabulous mango, a go-go, or however, your yo-yo, whatever. It was so, so good. It was delicious. So after our smoothie, we waited a little bit and was like, okay, let's eat some dinner or whatever. Let's try chicken and beer. It's right here. So chicken and beer apparently is a ludicrous franchise. I had never heard of it before, but I was like, okay, sure, let's try it. I want to try it. And let me tell you something. That food was so disrespectful. I mean, the prices were very high, and the food it was awful. It was awful. I'm very particular about my food, but how do you mess up fried chicken wings? Like the wings was so dry. And the jambalaya was not the jambalaya. No, I didn't want jambalaya. It was dirty rice that I was expecting, but it wasn't the dirty rice that I'm used to getting from down here in the South in New Orleans. Okay, and the greens, oh my God, y'all will see it because I put a picture up here of it. But the greens was like, I don't know, they look like kale. Supposed to be collard greens. But on top of that, not only did that happen, but me and Lexi had took her debit card out and put it on the table. Like she was getting ready to pay, but she wasn't ready to pay because we were gonna split our bill. We were gonna pay for our own meal. How about the waitress just got her little happy ass up, took the girl card off the table, went around and charged went around and charged her card, her debit card, without even asking her, how do you guys plan on playing? Are we splitting the bill or nothing? She didn't even say, are you ready for your check? Nothing. She just came and got the debit card and took it away. My mine usually say she fixed it. I think Lexi did say that did get a refund back for it, but it's just the principle of the matter. You don't just go around picking somebody's debit card up. They ain't even seen their check yet. Can we see the check first before we pay? Trust me and believe, never, ever, ever, ever going back to chicken and beer at LAX again. Now, if he got another franchise over in Atlanta or whatever, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to Google it. If he does, I will give it a shot, but it's got to be in the South because the West, not doing it for me. But let me tell y'all what else happened. So we're waiting for our flight, right? So we just sitting there. The little man come on the intercom. He like, oh, y'all flight's gonna be delayed about 15 minutes to get in Sydney because of some weather issues. It was like, okay, cool. Next thing you know, the flight was delayed again. Next thing you know, the flight was delayed again. Next thing you know, we got to change gates. We got to go to another gate. They waiting for the new team to arrive to board. Okay, the team go down like they finna get on the flight to board, and baby, next thing you know, the flight from LA to Sydney has been canceled. Okay. I mean, straight up canceled, which they said due to mechanical issues, but I honestly feel like they was gonna cancel the flight anyway. I think they knew before they started doing all those delays that something was wrong with that plane. You feel me? So our flight got canceled, and you know how that is. Like, what does this mean for us to get for getting to Sydney? Because now we finna lose a whole day. Because of course the flight is like 15 hours. We were supposed to get there on that Monday Sydney time, but now we don't know when we're gonna get there. So end up getting on the phone with Delta. First they was like, we're gonna get you out tomorrow. You'll arrive in Sydney. We're gonna use United Airlines. Then they was like, nah, scratch that. Somebody already got that. And they was like, okay, we're gonna fly you out with Qantas. Who the fuck is Qantas? Okay, Qantas turns out is an Australian airline. Little nervous about that, but it is what it is. And we also got a hotel voucher. The hotel was like at the Sheraton near the airport, so we was able to take the shuttle over there. It was very nice and swanky type place. Of course, it's a bummer because we were gonna lose a day of our trip, but we still getting to Sydney, so no big deal. And plus, bonus plus, we got a day in LA before our flight leaves because the Qantas flight did not leave until like 10 o'clock that night. So while in LA, we did get a late start because we slept in kind of late because both of us was really exhausted from the first two flights and everything that had transpired. But we decided to get an Uber to go to In and Out near the airport so we can see the airplanes fly overhead and of course taste what's so big about In and Out. Everybody's talking about the double double. So let's give the double double a try. Let's get some fries and all of the things and see how we feel about it. To see the planes fly overhead. That was her big thing. And she also did a tasting test for her score of the In and Out burger.
Whataburger better than them. 1 out of 10.
In and Out, we just decided to go to Venice Beach. When we got there, Lexi said, it looked just like it does on Grand Theft Auto. And I was just like, it looks just like it does in the movies, right? So it was definitely a vibe. When I went through there, the first thing I thought was, so Venice Beach is basically like Bourbon Street in New Orleans, except for it's on the beach. Like that's what it was giving for me. You know what I'm saying? And that was cool. There was a street performance going on, and I got a lot of video footage from that. Really enjoyed it thoroughly. Didn't get to see the end part because he was taking so long. They started asking for donations, and baby, I ain't got no money to donate because I'm still trying to get to Australia, okay? But but overall, I did enjoy it. We were able to get back to our hotel, get our bags, and out the door we go to LAX to go to the international terminal, right? And so let me tell y'all, but it was such a big difference being in the domestic terminals versus leaving out of the international terminals because everything was like an upgrade. I mean, they had Hermes stores, Coach stores, Burberry stores, I mean, the worst. And then also, like, the bathrooms and everything were very, very clean and well put together. It was a world of difference. So, y'all know when you going through the domestic terminals at LAX, it's like you're going through the hood. But you go, but when you going through the international terminal to get on an international flight, baby, that's like being in the burbs, okay? That is like being in the burbs because they go all out for that. I wonder why it is. Maybe some of y'all know. If you do, let me know down in the comments, baby, because I need to know. Now, to be fair, the flight with Qantas to Sydney was great. No major hiccups. We did get in-flight meals. Lexi said, "Look at our dog food. I'll show you." She said, but the meals weren't too bad to me, to be honest, and to be fair about that. There was a flight attendant on there that looked very delicious. He was Asian persuasion, but that's all I know about him. But he was a honk and he was very friendly and Yeah, and I swear we slept most of that flight. I don't even remember half of what went on or what went wrong. I had on my eye mask and my neck pillow, and Qantas gave us very lovely blankets and an additional pillow as well. So we were good to go in there, okay? So we finally touched down in Sydney, and let me just say, first impressions and last impressions, Sydney is a very, very well organized city and put together place. Like even down to getting an Uber from the airport, we didn't even have to wait that long. There was a area where you would go, and you could and you just line up waiting for whichever Uber type, and they had signs letting you know if you're getting an Uber X or Uber XL, you go here, here, or here. Got to the hotel. Of course, we're at the Pier One Sydney Harbor. That place was excellent. It was immaculate, and the staff was super friendly and super, super helpful. Of course, me, I'm not used to people doing anything for me. So when it's kind of like, let's get your luggage, I'll take it up to the room. It's like, no, girl, I got it. But no, they had it for me type service. So we stayed in the room for most of that day. We did take a trip down to go to the IGA to get some water and snacks for our room. And after that, we went to a dinner boat cruise show that night, which was amazing because it's a four-course meal and it was entertainment. I thought we were just doing the dinner with the meal, but apparently we paid for the meal and the show. So it was like this cabaret show, which was great. I did get to go on stage and participated in the point where it's like happy birthday song, why are you here? What are you celebrating type deal? And everybody was happy birthday mostly for being there. So that was also amazing. Really did enjoy the show. Really did enjoy the lights outside of Sydney as well. Day two was our photo shoot at Circular Quay with Rohan. Meet Rohan, he's very like engaging, very talkative, and he's telling us about the city, things we can do in Australia, just making a conversation. And I picked up automatically, I was like, Rohan gotta be an air sign. He is a talker, right? Once he started talking to us, he was trying to figure out like what we like to do, who we were, and I was like, wait, let me show you our trailer for our podcast. So that'll give you an idea of who we are. So I was showing him that, and he was like, oh man, that's so cool. That's so awesome. He was like, so you're really big into astrology. I was like, oh yeah. Actually said, so can you guess my sign? And I was like, you give air sign. You are either Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Like somewhere in your chart, you're very airy. And it turns out Rohan, sun sign now, sun is a Virgo sun. Okay. Now, mind you, I was off about the sun, like which sign, but Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which that is what I was picking up on. His Mercury vibes, right? His Virgo-ness came out in the photo shoot because there was several moments where we had to redo things, and he's like, "Yeah, let's redo it. Don't do this, don't do that." And Lex was like, "Okay, okay, now Rohan, goddamn it, we ready to stop. We ready to be done with this." Definitely would recommend him for anybody going to Sydney and want a photographer to do a good shoot with. Now, so after the photo shoot, we did go to Sydney Tower to do our brunch at Sky Feast. And what an experience. You have to get in this little elevator and go, I don't know, several floors up to get to Sky Feast. Okay. It was a rotating circle. Right. Now, let me tell you, the food wasn't that great. It really, really wasn't. But everybody was friendly. Everybody was helpful. The view was absolutely spectacular. You could just not have gotten a better view of the city from there and the skyline. It was amazing. The little girl who was our waitress, she even brought us out little happy birthday things and they sung happy birthday to us and took our pictures. We're supposed to go to the Sydney Opera House to do a tour that day, but we pushed it back because taking photos is exhausting. Then we ate brunch, like we didn't have any room or time to do anything else other than going to get hot stone body massages from a small place. Can't remember it. I think it's called Thai the Rocks or the Rocks Thai massage or something like that. Overall, I did enjoy my massage. Lexi said the little girl who was on her, she was like, that heifer was too rough. And she felt like the lady had left a bruise on her back. So I was like, do we need to go back and get her? And she was like, nah, don't worry about it. But my experience for me, it was a good massage. I never had a massage before from anybody ever in life, but I really enjoyed it. And the stones, those hot stones, oh my goodness, that was the best. I would recommend if you never had a massage before, make some time and go do that thing for yourself. You'll really, really, really appreciate it. It was officially my birthday the next day in Sydney. And so on this day, we actually went to Pancake on the Rocks for breakfast. Pancakes on the Rocks, which let me tell you, the pancakes were delicious. I mean, absolutely delicious. And the macchiato that I had, I needed it, baby, because it lifted my spirits up 100 million thousand times. Okay. Pancakes on the rocks. Pancakes were delicious. Lexi had got sausage, but she didn't like the sausage. I had got bacon, but the bacon wasn't cooked hard enough for me. I think it's an Australian thing, but I don't know. Cause everywhere I went and got bacon, it seems like the bacon was soft. And I like my bacon a little crispy. After Pancakes on the Rocks, we did go to the Sydney Opera House to have an opera house tour. Let me tell you, that place is immaculate, amazing. A little bit of a sad story that happened to the original architect that designed it and how he was pushed out. That was horrific. But he was a genius, actually, based on everything that he did. I really enjoyed the tour and learning more about how the Sydney Opera House came to be about. After the Opera House, we did have to go back to our hotel for a little bit to change because our jet boat thrill ride was scheduled at 12, but I thought it was scheduled at 3. The person that did the scheduling for me, the Viator, shame on you, did not select the correct time for me. But nevertheless, we went back to the hotel, did a quick change, and on our way back to the jet boat harbor, there was this little lady that asked us, she was selling ice cream and asked us, did we want ice cream? Like, Lexi was like, we'll stop by on our way back. We went on the jet boat thrill ride, and let me tell you, baby, that thing was like being on a roller coaster on water. It was so much fun. And the dude, Chris or Christopher, whatever his name is, like he did a real good job prepping us to get ready for it and prepared for it. But man, that was amazing. Now, whether or not I can get on a jet ski, I don't think so, but I could do a jet boat thrill ride again. After the thrill ride, baby, we walked back, going back to our hotel. We stopped at the little ice cream shop with the little lady, and baby, it was a whole nother photo shoot experience. But that homemade ice cream was so delicious. I had a salted caramel something because I like caramel and everything. Lexi had like a mango ice cream, but man, that was the best ice cream I've ever personally tasted in this life. The last one, before this one, and the one that's after, probably. Okay. That was just the beginning, y'all. This was supposed to be a soft life vacation, but it ended up being a lesson in patience, hacking, and jet lag survival. Part 2 is where things get even deeper and go a little bit more far left. We got Bondi Beach, a bougie dinner, and Lexi in the ER. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. New episodes drop every Tuesday via audio and visuals every Thursday on YouTube, unless life start lifing again. This is Sister Signs and Red Flags, where astrology ain't therapy, but we close. Stay cute, stay petty, and be safe out there. Bye.